litigation, but it's water under the bridge. We all did pretty well, but it could have just as well gone the other direction, especially if Ethereum didn't deliver. People forget that there was a time when Ethereum only had $500,000 left at the bank, and they were precariously close to not being able to deliver the product up to the expectations of other people. Remember that. So anyway, that's that. No more to comment on my side because litigation's ongoing, and we're not a party to it. We have no involvement in it, but it's senseless to opine and comment and think about these things because, stuff will come out, and I'm as much of a spectator as you guys are, and we'll see what the truth of the matter is through the discovery process and through the litigation process. Lots of things will be brought to the court, and we'll see what these guys do. All right, so that tables that. Don't add me to tweets anymore. Don't ask me to comment on anymore. At this point as much as I do. There's nothing more to say. Let's talk about Joe Rogan. Many of you know that I'm a big fan of the Joe Rogan podcast because of what it is. There are so few media that we have that somebody makes it a point to bring somebody on and just let them discuss whatever the hell they happen to be an expert in. You can be a UFO guy. You can be a world famous scientist. You can be a domain expert in some really cool new thing like anti-aging. Or you can be a deeply controversial person like an Alex Jones type person or Alex Jones himself. What was really amazing about the Rogan podcast is that Rogan made a policy just to let them talk and share who they are with the world. Now, there was no great patronage here where some media empire, Rupert Murdoch or something like that, showed up and said, we're going to make this guy a star. It was just people talking. In an age where institutions lack legitimacy and people are in desperate need for truth and for candor, this was a refreshing format that led to the rise of the Lex Friedman podcast. It led to the rise of the intellectual dark web, all of these things. Joe made a decision to get in front of this bullet train of COVID that's been going on. The age of COVID is not an age of truth. We all know that. It's not an age of science. It's not an age of reason. It's an age where you're told to accept things that are just not materially true. And we all know it. But we're not really allowed to have a conversation about it because it can promote vaccine hesitancy or whatever the hell people want to throw at you. The reality is that private companies are making tens of billions of dollars off of the misery and suffering of the lockdowns that are occurring. Johns Hopkins recently released a report saying that the reduction in mortality from all this lockdown culture is about 0.2%. We're not allowed to really think about that or talk about that. A public health campaign to reduce obesity probably would be more effective than what the lockdowns have done for the reduction of mortality. And we've witnessed over the last 24 months the largest wealth transfer in the history of the world between the poor to the rich. That's a fact. Mandates, especially for vaccines, mean that private companies who have no risk and didn't have to pay to build the products that they build are guaranteed to make tens of billions of dollars. And if we don't take them, then we're now social pariahs. So we're not allowed apparently to have a dialogue about that. And if anybody tries to have a dialogue about that, they're punished. The statements that Rogan made, didn't make them yesterday. They occurred over a 2-decade period. 100 million people in the audience. No one seemed to have any issue. No one did any collages or things until after started commenting on things that make very powerful people tens of billions of dollars. And now there's a big surge of censorship and deplatforming. So people come to our industry, the cryptocurrency space, because there's a very real possibility that Joe could be canceled. And there's a very real possibility that somebody with 11 million followers who listen to him on a regular basis could suddenly wake up without a job. And they say, well, you guys are the censorship resistant industry. You guys are the ones who somehow find a way to get people back into the milieu of society. The reality is crypto is not ready for social media. There are many challenges. And next week, I'll probably do some whiteboard videos and take you guys through some of the things that have to be solved if crypto actually has something to say to replace Twitter or Facebook or be a platform for free expression and free speech and free thought. It's not really where we're at as an industry yet. There's a lot of work that needs to be done. So unfortunately, there's no panacea here. There's no silver bullet we have to offer a guy like Joe when they continue to attack him and eventually get rid of him, because it'll come at some point somehow, scandal after scandal, or the slow heat death of losing his audience because of all the controls that have to be put on now. It makes me sad when you lose the ability to express yourself and think and have controversial ideas. Ideas can't hurt you. Ideas hurt the people in power. Ideas hurt institutions. Ideas hurt other ideas, but ideas don't hurt you. You are a free-thinking person, the person listening. You have every ability to look at each scenario and situation in its own right and use your judgment and rationality to decide what that situation and scenario means to you. And we have, as a society, to take a step back and realize that people are just making decisions for us arbitrarily about what we must put in our bodies, what we must put in our